Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. I hope that you are doing fine. So today we will look into the economic policy under the administration of Tun Mahathir. So during the premiership of Tun Dr. Mahathir, there were several policies that has been initiated as the effort to enhance the economy in Malaysia. Among the policies are continuation of new economic policy (NEP), national development policy (NDP), privatization, Look East policy, national industrialization policy, the concept of Malaysia Incorporated, as well as capital control. So first, we will look into the first policy, which is the continuation of new economic policy. So previously, Tun Razak has introduced new economic policy (NEP) in order to help the economic status of the Malays and Bumiputra. So zaman Tun M, Tun N sambung the new economic policy yang sedia ada dengan menambah beberapa features baru ataupun fokus baru dalam meningkatkan ekonomi orang Melayu dan Bumiputra. So antaranya adalah increase income and eradicate poverty of the Malays, provide employment as well as ownership of capital. So the purpose of the new economic policy that time adalah untuk improve the Malay economy serta membasmi kemiskinan dengan cara mengubah cara hidup serta pelaksanaan ekonomi cara tradisional kepada cara yang lebih moden. Contohnya penggunaan bajak ataupun traktor menggantikan penggunaan haiwan seperti kerbau dalam sektor pertanian. So dari segi employment, ada new job opportunity yang dibuka. Okay, kalau dulu orang Melayu kebiasaannya akan jadi petani, so mereka ini diberi peluang untuk join sektor in manufacture and commerce. Dan tak lupa juga orang-orang Melayu dan Bumiputra juga diberi jawatan-jawatan dalam sektor-sektor industri, either dia dilantik menjadi pengurus ataupun new entrepreneur. Okay. Under this continuation of the new NEP, most of the contract, business contract are being given to the Malays ataupun they are being given to joint venture with the Chinese. As I said previously, Tun M suka bagi projek-projek kepada orang Melayu so that orang Melayu akan dapat kawal di ekonomi. Apart from that, ada juga direct transfer of wealth to Bumiputra melalui shares, saham ataupun for example amanah saham nasional lah. So the purpose is untuk the Malay simpan duit dalam tu, and duit itu akan digunakan untuk saham, and the interest ataupun keuntungannya akan diberi kepada mereka yang join amanah saham nasional. So NEP juga berjaya mewujudkan the new Malay capitalist such as Tan Sri Halim Saad, which is the chairman of Renong. So now Renong dah tukar nama kepada UEM Group. Okay, UEM Group. So Tan Sri Tajuddin Ramli, bekas CEO MAS and many more lah. Okay, the next policy is National Development Policy (NDP). So after NEP, Mahathir dia initiate new development policy which is Dasar Pembangunan Nasional. So the focus is almost the same with NEP, as NDP ni adalah continuation of NEP. So ada three main focus utama dalam NDP, which are they want to eradicate poverty, menyusun semula masyarakat, as well as membantu golongan yang susah. So antara objektif of NDP adalah memperkukuhkan kestabilan negara dari segi ekonomi, sosial and politics melalui pembangunan bandar dan di luar bandar. The second objective is untuk menjadi negara maju dan mengukuhkan keadilan sosial, nilai etika, moral, kualiti hidup dan mengamalkan prinsip pentadbiran yang adil dan kecemerlangan ekonomi. So ada beberapa program yang dilaksanakan under NDP. Okay, antaranya adalah membasmi kemiskinan dan menyusun semula masyarakat, memastikan keseimbangan kaum dalam pelbagai aspek, meningkatkan penggunaan sains dan teknologi, menerapkan nilai sosial, kerohanian dan amalan cinta kan dalam sekitar, meningkatkan peluang dan kemudahan pendidikan as well as meningkatkan kerohanian diri. So, antara uh, the achievement of NDP adalah the increase of economic growth rate, activity involving capital and state stock market increase, the long-term investment and human development can be made, as well as reducing the poverty rate. Okay, moving to the next policy, which is privatization. So privatization policy was launched in 1983 to support the Malaysia Incorporated policy towards increasing the private sector's role in the country's economic development. So the main objective of this policy is to lessen the financial and administrative burden of the government, to improve skills and production, to accelerate economic growth, to reduce the size and involvement of the public sector in the economy, and to assist in reaching the country's economic policies goal. So there are several forms of privatization, such as sales of asset, commercialization of enterprise, management buyout, contract or purchasing of management expertise, leasing, build own company and then transfer to other company to manage, or build own company and operate by their own. So among the achievement in the implementation of the national privatization policy are provided infrastructure facilities of world-class status such as Lebuh Raya Utara Selatan, LRT, as well as KLIA and Tanjung Pelepas Port. Other than that, it has been successfully to create local companies which are successful and competitive, such as Tenaga Nasional Berhad and Telekom Malaysia Berhad. Okay, Look East Policy. Look East Policy is dasar pandang ke timur. So dasar ini adalah dasar di mana pihak kerajaan akan membuat pengkajian, penelitian dan pemilihan terhadap contoh-contoh dan teladan yang terbaik daripada negara Jepun dan Korea. Okay, dengan mengubahsuaikan dengan keadaan-keadaan di Malaysia. So adalah tidak tepat kalau kita lihat dasar pandang ke timur ni sebagai kita ambil apa sahaja dari Jepun ataupun Korea untuk dipraktikkan di Malaysia dan kita ketepikan teladan yang boleh dipelajari dari negara-negara barat. Kiranya dia tak ambil semua daripada Japan and Korea, dia ambil mana yang mereka rasa perlu dan dia juga tidak ketepikan sepenuhnya pengaruh-pengaruh dari barat. So why they initiate Look East policy? First is because of laissez-faire. So laissez-faire ni, it is not viable. So it will create competition, but at the same time inefficient. So laissez-faire ni maksud dia aktiviti ekonomi without the interference from government. So Malaysia actually dia tak nak terikat 100% dengan British. They believe that let the Malaysian decide by themselves without interference. So during that time, when all countries are focusing on the British or Western as the greatest economic player, Tun Mahathir shift the focus to East, whereby Tun M even initiate a confrontation with British where he encouraged to buy British last. Okay, so the main objective of Look East policy is that dia nak meninggikan prestasi pengurusan dan pembangunan dalam negara serta mewujudkan golongan masyarakat Malaysia yang mempunyai nilai-nilai dan etika kerja yang positif untuk meninggikan kemajuan negara. So perkara-perkara yang harus ditumpukan melalui dasar ini adalah kerajinan dan disiplin bekerja, kesetiaan kepada negara dan perusahaan ataupun perniagaan in which keutamaan ini diberi kepada kumpulan dan bukan diri sendiri. Okay. So antara strategi yang disusun oleh pihak kerajaan adalah dengan menghantar pegawai-pegawai dan juga pelajar ke Jepun dan Korea untuk belajar selok-belok teknikal dan pengurusan negara tersebut. So until now pun masih ramai lagi pegawai dan pelajar yang masih kita hantar dekat Jepun dan Korea. Okay, antara program yang dilaksanakan under Look is Policy ada 3, which perubahan struktur, sikap, serta pemberian latihan yang khusus. So ada under these 3 programs, ada beberapa lah juga program yang di-initiate, antaranya punch card, penggunaan name tag, quality control, quality assurance teams, counter service, latihan perindustrian and many more. So moving to national industrialization policy. So in the year 50s and 60s, government ada conduct industrial program untuk boost the economy, which biji timah and getah sebagai sektor utama negara. So however, bagi harga bagi getah dan biji timah sebagai sektor utama negara ini, dia telah menurun. Harga biji timah dan getah menurun dan menyebabkan government perlu shift di sektor ekonomi. So in 70s, government shift the economy to daripada getah dan biji timah kepada industri export base and industri yang mana sektor ini telah memberi peluang pekerjaan yang agak besar. Okay, manakala in 80s, industrial program di-upgrade kepada heavy industry such as involvement in technology. So the purpose is government nak equip Malaysian dengan skills in higher technology so that it will boost the economy and ensure that we are not left behind. So since operation cost of heavy industry ini besar, so government terpaksa terlibat dalam proses planning, implementing, financing and manage the industry lah, sebab pemegang industri pada zaman itu tak cukup modal untuk uruskan di heavy industry ni lah, sebab heavy industry ni requires a huge cost. Okay, so despite the development yang dibuat, masih banyak kelemahan yang wujud. Antaranya adalah sektor ekspor. Okay, sektor ekspor ni dia tak berapa berjaya sebab during that time kita agak ketinggalan as compared dekat negara-negara luar lah. So pada zaman tu ni kita cuma fokus dekat 2 sektor, which is electronic dengan textile. So the output of electronic and textile ni pun masih lagi low in quality as compared with other countries sebab we still have low technology and skills. So in line with intention to identify the weakness yang ada dalam our industry, government telah launch 2 major studies, which are Malaysian Industrial Policy Review and Industrial Master Plan. So the Malaysian Industry Policy Review ni, the purpose is adalah untuk review and modify existing state industrial policies and review investment incentive as well as increase export policies. So while PIP ataupun Industrial Master Plan aims to formulate industrial development objective in general in identifying strategies for potential small-scale subsectors. So the major industrial policy has taken into account some of the fundamental principles contained in the certificates of those studies. So the rationale of national industrialization policy ini pula adalah untuk menjadikan manufacturing sectors as a major sources of economic growth. So tidak lagi fokus dekat electronic and textile sahaja. So as manufacturing become the major sources of economic growth, it will be able to initiate the economic growth, increase the capacity of export, as well as increase technical training opportunities and skills. So industrial master plan ni akan jadi harapan sebagai batu asas untuk negara untuk menjadi industrial nation, so that it will help the development of the nation. So during this time, agriculture dah tak jadi major sources of economy, as agriculture dia give lower earnings as compared to industrial sector. Okay, so to achieve this goal, the industrial master plan has identified 12 industrial sectors that should be emphasized. 7 of these sectors are locally sources, namely rubber, oil palm, timber, food, chemical, and ferrous metal and non-metallic mineral product. 5 other sectors are non-resources-based industry, namely electrical and electronics, transport equipment, machinery and engineering, ferrous metals, and textile and clothing. So all these industries have been selected based on the potential to achieve the goals of expanding the national industry base. So in order for Malaysia to achieve an industrialized country, ada 9 measures that are suggested to be taken. The first one is export large scale of manufactured product. um, Resource-based industry will be identified as priority product and non-resources-based industries as industries to be developed. Advancing selected heavy industries, develop and utilize a system of integrated information services, develop technology and people, okay, reduce spending on infrastructure, modernize and restructure the industry, strengthen institutions responsible for manufacturing sector, reorganize existing incentive. Okay, the next policies initiated under the premiership of Tun Dr. Mahathir is the Malaysian Incorporated Policy. Okay. So the Malaysia Incorporated Policy was introduced in 1981, okay, to encourage cooperation between the public and private sector, whereby both sectors act and operate within a Malaysian company. Through this policy, both parties depend on each other, where the private sector upholds the commercial and economic activities, while the public sector draws up major policies, identify the direction, and provides the specialized supporting services which are conducive to the success of the business. So the rationale of Malaysian incorporated policy is, in a country like Malaysia, there are two main sectors that will determine the progress and resignation of the country, which are the private sector and the public sector. So these two sectors should work together in all areas to achieve and enhance the nation development and image to a better level. Okay, it has it has been observed that the private sector is a supporter of trade and economic activity, while the public sector will provide key policies and determine the direction and provide certain support services to the private sector. The government or the public is therefore more service provider to companies and companies. The need for the Malaysian Incorporated Policy is the result of the realization that at present there are a number of issues and issues that become separate or contradictory as organizational goals, role relationship, and rules between the public and the private sector. So the objective of Malaysian Incorporated Policy, just the Malaysian Association aims to establish a close, meaningful, and effective cooperation between the public sector and the private sector in the success of the country's development, which will bring benefits to both sides. So Tun M during that time himself described the Malaysian incorporated concept will require both sectors to abolish hostility and otherwise share information, responsibilities, challenge and understand policies, objectives and prosecutors in effort to enhance the country's social, administrative and economic development. So this close cooperative relationship will actually benefit all parties where public policies will be easily understood, implemented and accepted by all levels of society. So the profit earned by the private sector can be achieved through tax and social involvement by the private sector. So for the implementation strategy, the understanding and cooperation between the two sectors can be achieved through the first one is understanding the attitude of the public with the private sector should be eliminated. Second one is the public and private should have an agreement to achieve the national goals. So therefore, both parties have the goal of safeguarding the dignity of the nation as not just one party that will be in a state of development. Public order rules and procedures should be reviewed and altered where necessary, and where possible, the private sector should be involved in enacting rules and procedures. Next is the relationship between the ministry or statutory bodies should be enhanced so that each government agency has the same job and working rules. So this will allow the private sector to easily contact and manage their works. In this regard, the Intan, which is Institute Tabib Negara, held a series of forums, seminars and discussion in the pursuit of the exchange of information at federal and state level. Some of the private companies have also taken the initiative to hold similar seminars. In an effort to create greater collaboration and involvement of the private sector in the formulation of policies and procedures more effectively, a general circular letter 2 signed by the Chief Secretary of State has been issued so that all ministries, departments, statutory bodies and district office set up consultation between the private and the public. In addition, several other programs have also been conducted, such as placing government officials into private companies. Initially, a total of 18 officers were placed at the British Malaysian Industry and Trade Association in 1984 with the aims of enabling them to learn about the private sector's management in business, commerce and industry. So for the last policy under the premiership of Tun Dr. Mahathir is capital control. So capital control ni dia represent any measure taken by a government, central bank or other regulatory body to limit the flow of foreign capital in and out of the domestic economy. So this control include tax, tariff, registration, volume restriction and market-based force. Capital control can affect many asset classes such as equities, bond, and foreign exchange trades. So this policy is quite controversial sebab that many of people setuju dengan tindakan Tun M untuk tambat mata wang. So tambat mata wang ini kelebihan dia adalah dia dapat tingkatkan the value of money kepada lebih tinggi during that time. However, bila nilai USD yang ditambat itu jatuh, maka mata wang kita juga akan turut jatuh. So not very good lah. So the objective of capital control adalah dia nak limit the impact of capital outflow, slow down the fall of international reserve, encourage accumulation and create balance of payment crisis. So it will also allow BNM in have a greater freedom in implementing monetary policies. It will allow the economy to rebuild international reserve and avert the credit in the economy, allow the government to tap the excess liquidity to deal with the economic recession, as well as minimize the outflow of portfolio capital. So, antara critics yang diterima adalah the companies during that time banyak yang affected lah, such as construction, property development and banking, sebab there are several limits of cash flow, domestic cash flow, as well as harga barang mentah juga depends on the market value. Okay. So these are the economic initiative that has been introduced by Tun M in promoting the Malaysia as an industrial country. The first initiative is the formation of vendors to support car industries in Malaysia, creating more industrial parks in the federal and the state region, introduction of privatization policies, introduction of corporatization policy, training of skilled workers in the industrialized nation, especially in the car industry, smart partnership with the industrialized nations such as Japan and South Korea, the concept of Malaysian Incorporated, as well as the establishment of heavy industrial corporation, HICOM. So that's all for this part of Tun Mahathir. Okay. I hope that you will be able to understand this chapter well. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum and have a good day.